Hello, this is VNews Broadcast Daily, and following are today's highlights.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng attends the 2012 World Economic Forum on East Asia in Bangkok. Vietnam reports to UN Committee on implementation of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. The World Bank announces the country partnership strategy for Vietnam in the 2012-2016 period.
At the invitation of Thai Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra and the World Economic Forum President Klaus Schwab, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng attended the 2012 World Economic Forum on East Asia in Bangkok on May 31st.
The forum, under the theme of shaping the region's future through connectivity, attracted more than 600 delegates, including country leaders, international intellectuals, and business representatives from 50 countries. Participants focused discussions on proposals and solutions aimed at enhancing cooperation and connectivity in East Asia. They called on East Asian nations to continue adjusting growth models to adapt to the economic situation after the global financial crisis 2008-2009. Addressing the opening session, Prime Minister Dũng said, "Cooperation and regional connectivity have become one of the main trends in East Asia, with regional countries playing a proactive role, especially members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN." Global economic restructuring is occurring in the context of falling production, rising inflation, increasing public debt, and fluctuating energy and food price. This has led to a need for suitable adjustments to cooperation schemes, including the East Asia Cooperation Mechanism. The Prime Minister also affirmed that the Vietnamese government will continue to improve the investment environment to attract international capital flow. On the sidelines of the forum on May 31st, Prime Minister Dũng met with the World Economic Forum President Klaus Schwab. The Prime Minister said, "Vietnam is very interested in issues discussed at the forum, especially those about regional connectivity, a suitable growth model for East Asian countries, and how to cope with the development challenges." The two sides were satisfied with bilateral coordination in implementing some initiatives, such as projects on joint vision in agriculture and customs modernization, and affirmed to continue cooperating in the coming time.
Austrian President Heinz Fischer wrapped up his official visit to Vietnam on May 31st. Before leaving, he attended the Vietnam-Austria Forum on Tertiary Education, Science and Research in Ho Chi Minh City.
Speaking at the forum, President Heinz Fischer said he is pleased with development of bilateral ties in the science and research sector. On his part, Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Thiện Nhân affirmed that the forum represented the two countries' determination to make tertiary education, science and research a priority in bilateral cooperation. On the occasion, the Vietnamese Ministry of Science and Technology and the Austrian Ministry of Science and Research officially launched a program to support bilateral research cooperation between Vietnam and Austria in the period from 2012 to 2025. The event also saw the signing of 6 memoranda of understanding between leading universities of Vietnam and Austria. The Austrian president met with chairman of the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee Lê Hoàng Quân the same day. Quân expressed his belief that the visit will boost multifaceted cooperation between Austria and Vietnam in general, and between Austria and Ho Chi Minh City in particular.
Vice President Nguyễn Thị Doan paid a courtesy visit to Greek President Karalos Papoulias in Athens on May 31st on the occasion of her attending the 22nd Global Summit of Women.
Vice President Doan stressed that Vietnam attaches a great deal of importance to developing its friendship and cooperating more with Greeks. She expressed the hope that both countries will step up the exchange of delegations at all levels to enhance economic, trade, and investment ties. Greek President Carolus Papoulias praised Vietnam for its achievements in the past and at present, and said that Greece is willing to work with Vietnam in every field. Earlier, Vice President Doan presided over the Vietnam-Greece Business Forum, which attracted hundreds of business people from both countries. The Vice President suggested businesses from both countries cooperate in the maritime sector as well as agriculture, seafood, handicrafts, food processing, garments, tourism, healthcare, education and training.
The Deputy Minister for Labour, Employment and Social Affairs, Doãn Mậu Diệp, gave an account of Vietnam's progress in implementing the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child between 2007 to 2011 at the 60th sessions of the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child in Geneva on May 31st.
Deputy Prime Minister Diệp said the discussion had been open and constructive. He said the committee highlighted Vietnam's achievements in child care, protection and education, and said its legal system has met the principles and requirements of the convention. Vietnamese children now receive better care and protection and exercise the right to attend school and express their opinions in national children's programs. The United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child noted that one of the biggest challenges for the country is its lack of financial resources to invest in children. It recognized Vietnam's strong commitment to ensure the realization of the rights of the child. Vietnam was one of 7 countries reporting to the session, which opened on May 29th and will end on June 15th. The country was the first Asian nation and the second country in the world to ratify the convention on February 20, 1990.
The delegation of European Union in Vietnam launched the Blue Book 2012, the annual publication on European Union development cooperation in Vietnam, on May 31st.
Head of the European Union delegation to Vietnam, Ambassador Franz Zessen, said the EU is still one of the leading foreign development assistance providers for Vietnam, with committed aid totaling 745.3 million euros or $1 billion in 2012. The figure represented more than 13% of the total committed foreign assistance for Vietnam. According to the ambassador, the signing of the Vietnam-EU Partnership and Cooperation Agreement, scheduled for June, will serve as a framework for the two sides to further expand their relations. The two sides have also completed preparations for the start of negotiation on their bilateral free trade agreement.
And I think there are 2 reasons why the Vietnamese exporters are doing very well on the European market. One reason is that many European companies have invested in Vietnam in order to produce goods here that are later sold on the European market. The second reason, as I see it, is that the more difficult economic environment that we have globally has made the question of price more important in some product groups. And there, Vietnam is very price competitive. So that means that there's an element where Vietnam is doing relatively well due to the crisis.
In the time to come, the European Union will focus its assistance to Vietnam on promoting green growth, reducing inequality, and improving public administration while fighting corruption.
The World Bank on May 31st officially announced the Country Partnership Strategy (CPS) for Vietnam in the period from 2012 to 2016. The new strategy shifts the focus from financial flows to how the bank can assist the country to capitalize on new ideas and manage its own resources better.
For the new period, the indicative allocation from the World Bank's concessional lending arm, the International Development Association, to support Vietnam is about $4.2 billion. The new country partnership strategy was built on 3 pillars of increasing the economy's competitiveness, promoting development sustainability, and expanding access to opportunity. The strategy is in line with Vietnam's socio-economic development strategy for 2011-2020 and is planned for the 2011-2015 period, which focus on restructuring environmental sustainability, social equality, and emerging issues in macroeconomy.
And that comes to the end of the news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.